Hello guys, welcome to TechPoint. This is the first video of C tutorial for absolute beginners. There will be a playlist which will be consist of 25 videos and this is the first video amongst them. So let's start. In this video we are going to talk about what is the C programming language, why we need to use it, what are the IDEs present and what are the basic syntax of C programming. So at first we need to know what is C programming language. So before that we need to know what is a programming language. Think like that, there is a boy in your locality, you want to talk with him but you don't know your language and he also don't know your language, but he can't learn your language, so you have to learn his language to talk to him. So now think that the boy is a computer, so the computer's language is known as programming language and C is one of the programming language and it is in the market for last 2 decades. So what is C? It is just a programming language which helps us to communicate with the computer. And what are the advantages of it? It is very efficient and powerful. It is a portable language. There are many built-in functions and it has the quality to extend itself. After that, there are the IDEs for C programming. So what are IDE? IDE is nothing but the integrated development environment where we write our code. Think that you start your PC or laptop and you just can't start writing your program in the desktop or somewhere else in the program or PowerPoint or Microsoft Word. There is a specific place and the specific place is known as IDEs. There are many free IDEs present in the internet like VS Code, Sublime Text, Atom, Turbo C++, Dev C++, CodeBlocks. You can use any of them, but for beginners I recommend Turbo C++ or Dev C++ because they gives you the opportunity to know how the program flows in the computer memory. While the VS Code and Sublime Text or Atom or CodeBlocks, while you write a code on it, if you write only a single word, it will give you the predictable suggestions. Like if you write I, it will give the suggestion of include, which we don't want. And for this tutorial, I am going to use the Dev C++ IDE because it is very easy to use and good for beginners. After that, the basic layout of a program. So there are 3 parts of a program, that is the header part, which consists of the header files, that is hash include stdio.h and caneo.h, and then there is a main function. How I know that the main is a function? Look that there is a first bracket open and close after main, which signifies that it is a function, and after the main function there is a second bracket open. Within it we write our code, that is the body part of the program, and the last part is the return 0, which returns the value to the main function. And before the main function there is a keyword written int, which is the return type of the function. About the return type we are going to talk in the next video, but now think that the return 0 returns the value to the function which is accepted by the return type, that is int. And one thing to mention here, that there is a semicolon after each and every line, which helps the computer to know that the line has ended. Without the semicolon the computer will think that the line has not ended and continues itself in the second line. So as I said before, the stdio.h and caneo.h part is the header files. Then the main function. What is the main function? The main function is the part of the program from where the program start executing, like that. And then the return 0 part. And one thing about the return 0, I forgot to mention that return 0, it is an optional value. We don't need to mention the return 0 in every function, and it is not necessary, but sometimes it is necessary to use because without it we can't do our desired task. And the necessary part is the functions part. While we talk about function, we will talk about it. As I said, it is the optional part, but sometimes it is necessary to use. And after that there is a header files in C. So what are the header files? Header files are the library files that consist of many built-in functions. Like if you think about your computer, there are many files in a folder. So header files are kind of the folders and the built-in functions are kind of the files in the folders. So these are the library functions, and there are many built-in functions present inside it. So there is a bookish definition. And how can we identify that this is a header file? By seeing the .h extension. There are many header files present like math.h, stdlib.h, string.h, types.h, and the most basic are stdio.h and caneo.h. stdio stands for standard input output and caneo stands for console input output. And one thing to mention here is, if you use Turbo C++ as your IDE, then you must use canio.h header file. But in Dev C++ we don't need to use the canio.h, because in Turbo C++ there is a problem that the output screen is not stable. If you run your program, what is the output screen? The output screen is the screen where we visualize our output, but if we run our program, the output screen will not be stable. So for making it stable, we need to use the canio.h. Not the canio.h, there is a function in canio.h called getch. We need to use that function. So for that function we need to use the canio.h header file, but in Dev C++ there is not this problem present. So we don't need to use the canio.h in Dev C++, but we have to use it in the Turbo C++. After that, the main function. So as I said before, the main function is a part of the program from where the program starts executing. You can think like that it is the entry point of the program. Like we start reading a book from the first line, so the program starts executing from the first line of the main function, like that. So it has a return type in front of it. So in our example the return type is int, but it can be of any type like float or void, etc., or it can be any type like struct node. If you know about pointer, you know what is struct node, like that. So after that, the return 0 function. So what is the return 0 function? Return 0 function, this is not actually return 0 function. Return can return any value, so return is a function, return, not return 0. Okay, and I want to mention something, that don't confuse in return function and return type. Return type is written in front of the main function, and return function is the last line of the program which returns the value, and return type accepts the value. So think like that. They are totally different things, but they are connected to each other in the term that they should be of same type. Like if return function returns the integer value, then the return type should be of int. And if the return function returns a float value, then the return type should be a float, like that. So we will talk about the return function elaborately in the functions video, and in the next video we are going to see practicals about the header files and basic syntax of C program. Like we will be seeing the hello world program in the next video. So thank you for watching it. Stay tuned till the next video publish. And if you have any suggestion about upgradation of audio or video quality, please let